All right, take number 2. Welcome on in to day number 2 of our new run. And this is geared towards those that want to get better at the game. So I'm going to be over explaining stuff. If you have any questions when you're in chat, you're welcome to ask away and we can go and dive into why things are done certain ways. But I found that this is a really good way to help others get better at the combat and also learn how to be a little bit more prepared for the raids that are going to be coming. So we're going to go ahead and load into our run here. All right, and so we have had a total of 1 raid, I believe, thus far. Wrong button here. Yeah, we see 1 raid, and we've got another one that should be coming any moment. We see that our kill tunnel set up. We've got the traps here, and we've got the fences, and the fences are going to be what cause the incoming raiders to avoid running right down here and avoiding the traps, because they don't see the traps. Our colonists do, though. Looks like we're putting our flooring down to get this room completely clean, because that'll make it so that when we are researching it, we'll research at a quicker speed. We can go ahead and set these to auto rearm and then make sure that they're in our home zone. Hey, how's it going, Heroic Comics? Welcome in. We're putting this in our home zone so that if they get broken, our pawns will auto repair or auto rebuild. There we go. And we're speeding along on speed 4 here. I do see that it's pretty warm outside. We've got a heat wave going, but we've got the 2 ACs pumping in here. So it's nice and chill in there. We've got our vent here, but it's currently closed. You can go ahead and open and close by either toggling the V or clicking it. Yo, Lulas, how you doing? Mismanaging your cultivator sec so bad. Get some trees chopped down for when we need to put some more of these in. We need more steel, so we're going to go ahead and... Oh, we don't need to mine the whole vein. That'll add unnecessary wealth we don't need to take on at this moment. But we've got the wood. We can just extend this trap tunnel longer. Slowly build a wall around a catastrophe and did cause your sect not ready to fight it. Oh no. Sorry to hear that, buddy. Alright, so now with a clean room, if you click on here, you'll see that we're going to get the maximum speed. Room cleanliness 100%. I see here that we don't have some of these things claimed. So we're going to make sure we claim them. And you want to be, if you ever take over a door, you want to make sure that you claim that door. Otherwise, when you get raided, they're just going to run right through that door that you haven't claimed. Got a little bit flooring more to go. And let's double check that we've got our zone set. We have an inside. We don't have a work area yet. We have a yard set, so that's where we'll put the dog. We also have a meat shield set. Dog meat shield right up there. Here's our raid. pirates. They're going to prepare and then attack. So you scroll out, you see we got 2 there. We've also got 1 over there. So if we want to just stay in our inside, we can set that. And then we set our animal to stay inside as well. And then we have them open up one of these doors so that they target us. Don't bash on our walls. I'm not even sure what a cultivator is. Oh, you're playing Chinese Rimworld. Okay. No wonder I'm not sure what a cultivator is. We do have a heat wave going, and that's causing us to be warm. One thing we could do is we could just tell our dog to stay out there. The yard. They're going to path that. Close this door. Stay nice and cool in here. And then we need to get these all to auto rearm. The 5,000 year meditation to reach that enlightenment. Become an empty cup. So one thing that you'll want to check is to make sure that they're not nimble. And we do have a nimble, so this guy's going to make it through. This is an absolutely amazing pawn. Besides not being able to firefight. But jogging, hard worker, nimble is great. I really like trigger happy pawns too. So if we can capture that one, we're going to. So we want to put in some bedding in here, just in case. As we're playing no pause, you got to prepare ahead a little bit. Set those to be a prisoner room. When they actually start the raid, we're going to tell the dog to go right here. We can even build a couple more pillars to stand behind. We have 3. Alright. So we're going to change our animal to be in our meat shield. And we're going to draft everyone. Bring them over here. We're going to put Dr. Cook right there. We'll put our shooters behind these, just in case they try and get a shot off. One thing we can do too is take off the fire at will, because if they get hit while they're standing on that barricade, they will stop and start shooting. So if we take off the firing and we control that aspect, we don't have to worry about it as much. That guy's nimble, he's skipping through stuff, but he did get hit. Got hit by 1. He's holding a knife, so we can just go ahead and blast at him. And we shot him, we took him down, so we're going to capture him. And we've got that one coming. We're going to go ahead and set this to make a couple more graves. That one's not going to make it past. There we go. We did it. We can go unrestricted. We can change our animal to no longer be restricted either. Go ahead and allow these. And they're going to go ahead and dig those. Want to pin. This will be a great pawn if we can get them recruited. And I'm noticing I've got this pawn set to be a medic, but I must not have set them in here. So we're going to change this, be able to do medical. But they're not going to be our primary doctor, so I'm going to leave that one as a 1, that one as a 4, just so that I can right-click and use that ability. So like if I take this pawn now when I right-click, it'll show me that I could go 10 to that pawn. We're also going to get that built up for him. And we're going to make this room a little bit nicer, because that'll help us recruit them quicker. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and build. And if we have marble, we're going to use things out of marble. So we're going to make a dresser out of marble. We're going to make a bedside table out of marble. And we're going to make a table. Make them think that we're really fancy. Need a little bit more wood. Go ahead and get that chopped down. We're going to set the pawn to be recruited. We're also going to mine out a little bit more so that we can make that flooring also out of concrete. Now, one thing that we could do is we can either leave some of the flooring open so that we can plant on it, or we can create pots out of the marble. So once we get those built, we'll just kind of take a look and see what the room's at. We want to get it to 51. That's a little rough, but we do have our zone set to be able to do it. And we're going to set our planters to go do that. Actually, we're just going to recruit everyone. We're going to say everyone plant cut. Whoops. They went into that little spot there. We're going to say don't plant right now while you're cutting. That's how you clean that up quick. Now they can plant. You say take them off of cut, and we change their work schedule back. We lost a little bit of rice. Could be okay. Got quite a bit there. We always could go hunt if we needed. Set this to get chopped. A little extra wood right there. Build has an inspired creativity. So, being that we need some nice beds, we're going to make it turn a double bed just in case we have a relationship that pops up. We need wood first. And we don't want him to make it out of those. So that's actually what he's going to do right now. Plant is also our miner. They got to go chop up this wood now for us. We're going to say, don't make those yet, because we want to get that inspiration done with the bed so that you can make the other stuff. Build's going to make that, and the inspired creativity is going to give it one level higher than whatever it came out as. So it would have been an excellent bed, now it's masterwork. Now we can say, go ahead and make this stuff. Also, this stuff. And we're going to open up this vent here so that that room gets cooled. And then we're also going to put a wall there so that they have a less chance to escape. One other thing we're going to do is we're going to build a second door. That's just in case he goes berserk, hits that door open. And it would make this prison room become this whole area of prison room. We're going to put a second door, and we're going to keep that door always open. Plant's over there helping, so we're going to have Plant go chop down some wood instead. Made it good. Make sure that this area is in. It is in the home zone. These were not, though. Let's add those. Now, I'm not selecting all the areas because I don't want the pawns going up and cleaning the empty areas as well. Heat wave's over. Great. You cannot make prisoners work. You have to recruit them before they'll work. One of the DLCs allows you to make them a slave, but slaves always have a chance of breaking that, and it's just not worth it for me. So typically I either recruit them or use them for some other kind of crimes, harvesting organs or something like that. But this is a really good pawn. Jogging is one of my favorite traits. Jogging and trigger happy is my favorite kind of pawn. Throw on a tough, and that would be a god tier pawn. How you doing, Yef? Welcome in. We're going to get rid of that bed so they use that one. And we need to switch someone over there. So if I have a quick sleeping pawn, I'm going to put them on that bed. I do not. So I'm going to put building pawn on that first. And then what kind of bed? They were using a normal bed. Jay's a little unhappy. They didn't get in their rec time. Unfortunate. What are their needs here? So they're getting rebuffed by Dr. Cook. So when you have this happen, they're flirting with other pawns. 2 other pawns. They're getting bad. We're going to put Jay on a different schedule, and all we have to do is just offset it a little bit. So if we move Jay up here, cause him to sleep like this, and he's going to have less opportunity to flirt. So that rebuff, when he tries to flirt and they don't like it, he gets a negative. And then if I click on Cook, Cook's also got a negative too. Had to rebuff. So you don't want that happening over and over again. And remember I said that that might happen because we had a pawn that came in. Who was it? We had a pretty pawn somewhere. Pretty. Cook's going to get hit on by other pawns. Our female pawn. We have a male, another female, and another male. So it'd be nice if they can get some relationships going. We could remove the tongue if we wanted, but our pawns really don't like it when we do that kind of stuff to them. It gives them big mood decrease. How dare you not like it when I remove your tongue? Okay, let's take a look at this room. Plant. Go do something else. I want you to mine plant. But we're going to set mining in front of plant construction. And we can do that by increasing that to 4, leaving that at 3, and then setting these up higher. There's lots of ways we could have done that, but that'll make it so that they'll do their growing stuff, then mine, then construct. Could have dropped this by 1, put that down to 2, that to 3, and then leave these at 3. That way we can not have them go out hunting if we ever set stuff to hunt. Okay, so now we want to get this room to look prettier. Let's go ahead and put concrete in here. What is that floor? It's already concrete below it. Let's see. Sandstone tile. We're going to leave this door to stay open so it doesn't slow us down. Okay, so we're going to need a couple plants, and we have marble, so it's going to make the plants look nice. Hey, Masa, thanks for the lurk. Welcome in. So if you go into furniture, you can do a potted plant, and if we make it out of marble, it can be even more impressive. We're going to start with 2. Once they build it, they'll automatically put flowers in there. They'll put daylilies in. The 37, what did we get with those put in there? 48, so we need at least 1 more. $17, $18. Let's have plant, go ahead and plant. Slightly impressive. Now they're going to be recruited easier. So their mood's going to go up. Another thing we could do is if we have any drugs on us, we can give them a joint. Now the one thing to be careful here is I've killed a pawn by giving them smoke leaf in the past. So if their consciousness is low and you give them smoke leaf, it's going to knock their consciousness down. And I believe it shows us here. Yo, Ducky Dude, welcome in. Let's see, it reduces the consciousness by 30. So if they're 30 or below, do not give them smoke leaf unless you want them to die by smoke leaf. Yes, that's one way to go, isn't it, birds? Pot kills in Rimworld. I'm sure it would too. Make the local news. So we're going to start pushing for... My primary method here in Rimworld is going from the beginning to assault rifles. So we're going to be trying to get to assault rifles from here. And our path to that is right along here, up to microelectronics, then precision rifling. When we get to microelectronics, we're going to have to make a high-tech research bench to research anything that's on the right side of this. So that standard research bench can research anything that's on the left of microelectronics, and then you have to have that advanced research bench to do anything on the right side. We've got our ponds just doing the bare minimum here, where we've got our tunnel, we've got our food to keep us going, we've got 4 ponds plus a dog. That could be plenty here. If we need it, we can go out and murder something, get a little bit of meat. We even have an extra bed right now. Could have moved the bed in there to give that a little bit more impressive. You look here, they've got smoke leaf going right now. They've got a... No, they don't have the mood increase anymore. They're naked, so that's actually something that we could do. We can make a electric tailor bench. We've got to kind of figure out where we want to do this. So we don't need those on anymore. And I'm going to start it over here. It looks like we were out of materials for that, so we need to chop some wood. What we're gonna do is we're going to... Maybe there's... Okay, we can put pants in there. So if I do a spot in here for clothing, and I set it to critical, they're gonna drop clothing in there. We can go ahead and stop to that right now. We're gonna change that to apparel. And not tainted. So they'll get up and put that clothing on at some point. They're female, so they have to have both areas covered, their pants and their top. Anytime we have a wild animal like this, it's a good opportunity to get your 3 shooters or your whatever shooters you have. Go and take a couple shots. We're going to put these 2 just a little bit in front. They have opportunity to shoot. And they missed. Oh, here he comes. And he's down. Yeah, that's a great question, Bowmaster Flex. So I find myself planting trees on a different kind of tile. If we were on arid shrubland, I do that often. In fact, I've got my current run right now with tribal impids, and we do that. One thing you could do instead of planting is I could go ahead and set this as a grow zone, but not plant. Oh, that was the wrong thing. A grow zone, and instead of planting, we're going to say no sowing. And what that's going to do is they're only going to chop the trees when they get ready to harvest. Because if you harvest trees when they're percent grown, they're not 100%, they're going to give you much less. So if I set it like this, they're going to go ahead and chop the trees when they get to 100% in that area. And it's more beneficial for productivity wise. When you are starting crash landed, you actually don't have the ability to plant trees from the get-go. So you would have to research it. But tribals start off with the ability to plant trees. Could extract these and plant them in there, but just extra work, and we want them doing as much research as possible. We're gonna get this built, and we're gonna make 1 piece of tribal wear. We're gonna set our best crafter to it. Well, not our best crafter, but one with the passion. So they'll increase crafting quicker than the other one. We set that to 1, so Jay's going to do that as soon as possible. We can, well, he's sleeping right now. He's on a different schedule than the others. Once he's done sleeping, he'll do that. This shotgun, even though it's poor, probably going to be better than that. So we're going to have Jay, first thing he does when he wakes up, I'm holding shift, right click that and equip. You see that line that's showing what he's going to do next. If I wanted to add additional things into the queue, I could say pick up that, and it's going to do that just by holding shift down. If I hit C now, it's going to cancel it all, and I can just tell him to pick up that, equip that shotgun. Now let's see if this person is, nope, they still have their smoke leaf tolerance. Once that's done, we're going to give them another set of smoke leaf. Another hit. One thing that it took me a few times to learn in Rimworld was if I thought I had to get rid of these messages by left clicking and going into it. You could just right click it and it gets rid of the messages. And then we can also take cook off of hunting, and we're going to get rid of that hunter lacks suitable weapon. One thing I like to do is remove the weapons from the prison, close to the prison. So we're going to move them over here. I'm going to set them to critical. They're all, and I'm going to put the weapons right there. So if they were to jailbreak, they would run and grab a weapon and then use it against us. This is going to give us time to react by putting them over there. Fill complete. All right. So we're going to shrink that. They can move the pants out of there. That pawn's going to pick up the tribal wear at some point. Now we want our colonists, if we look at our climate, and I actually yesterday was talking about settling somewhere where it's year-round growing. We didn't settle somewhere year-round. We're 40-60. So you have to make a decision. The outerwear, the best outerwear combination, or the best combination for movement and defensiveness I like to wear, is a duster with a long button t-shirt and pants. But if I'm in cold or extremely cold climate, then I'll instead of the duster, I'll do parkas. We're only going to go down to 34, so duster should be enough for us. So we're going to set these bills up so that we always have a 1 in reserve, 1 thing of clothing in reserve. So we're going to set this to make duster first, because we want the duster on. We're going to suspend it so they don't do it while we're setting this up. We're going to say drop on the floor, do until we have 1. We want them to have quality. We're going to do about 55. 56 is fine. Normal. And then we're going to specify J. We don't want them making it out of cloth. And then for performance issues, anytime you make a bill, you want it below 50. And this is just the radius in which they're going to look for those ingredients. So we're always going to have them pretty close to them. So that's good. We can unsuspend that. Then we can make our next one, which is going to be, we'll do button down t-shirts. We're going to do that the same exact way. Do until we have 1. Set this up to about 55. Normal. Drop on the floor. Have Jay make it. Lower the radius, no cloth. And then the last one we're going to do is pants. If I can find them. There they are. Do until have 1. Normal. Drop on the floor. Low 50. And set them to J. Now, how do we get them to wear clothing that is not tattered? Because if they're wearing something that's 50 or below, or maybe it's 49 below, I can't remember exactly, they're going to be upset. They're going to get a mood debuff that they're wearing tattered clothes. So you can go into assignment, manage apparel. I always set the one on top to be my shooters, because I typically have more shooters than melee. So I'm going to set this up to be, I want them to drop things off. They get to 51 or below 51, below 52. We only want them to wear normal. And if they're my shooters, I don't want them to use a shield belt. They can't use the shield belt if they're shooting. And then we're going to tell them to not wear any tainted clothing. And I'm going to change the name of this to be range. And then I'm going to copy this and I'm going to change that to be melee. So if someone comes in and I want them to be a melee pawn, the only difference is I don't want them to use anything besides a shield belt. And then we've got one melee, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to change them to be melee. Tattered marine armor, it depends. So in the base game, I'm going to have them take it off. And more often than not, if you just allow them to make the decision, they're going to take it off anyways, because it's not as protective as wearing something that's better quality or has more on it. So they're going to take it off. When you're doing that, you also want it to have a little bit of the percentage left, because you can actually sell it, and as it gets lower and lower, it's going to have less worth to it. Okay, so they just took off their clothing. They're going to be happier now because they've got no more nudity. And then if we... Oh, they still can't give them smoke leaf. We're going to get rid of that. So what I was saying is, if you're making high quality black armor, black vest, and you have solid dusters with... my goal is either Thrumbo Fur or Devil Strand. They'll actually pick that over marine armor unless it's like masterwork or something like that. And I prefer to use the duster combination with the flak armor, because the flak vest is as protective as the marine armor in the chest area, and the other limbs are replaceable. So I always like to have faster pawns, unless I've got like one tank or something like that, then I can set them up with the marine armor. My playstyle, I tend to do a lot more kiting and taking the shooting pawns and I'm moving them around, and so I want them to have speed. So they just went down 1.8 resistance, which is really great, and our pawn is 11, so that helps a lot too. Yeah, pawn with bionic arms gets full black vest protection too. Tumbleweed, welcome in. So this pawn is pretty happy for being in a prison. But we're going to be making some cruddy stuff to begin with, because Jay's only a 3. But that's fine, he'll go up quick. In fact, if we want him to get a little bit more experience, we can actually make this electric bench. We can turn it off, and then he's going to make it slower. So it's electricity's off. He's going to be taking longer to make that now. And we must not be researching anything. I missed that message. We're going gunsmithing now. You can see that they're waiting for a job to do. And now I drafted them, undrafted them. They're going to go research. We don't need those. Could move these in there. We got a slaver. So slaver in the base game is nice because when you purchase them, they don't come as a slave. They actually join you right away. So there's a way to cheese this a little bit too. So we don't have too much money. We only have 800 silver. Depending on what the slaves are, we might pick one up here. And you can actually hurt them a little bit, and that'll cause them to be a little bit more affordable. But when you hurt them, you lose a little bit of faction. So right now, this is the East Din Linbum. If we look at our faction with them, we are 0. If they get down to negative 75, I believe it is, negative 60, something like that, then they become hostile. You can actually hit them a couple times. Each time you hit them, I think it goes down like 15 to 20 or something like that. We'll take a look as we do it. if we do it. So we can take a look. Any really good pawns? Kind, staggeringly ugly, misogynist. Nope, not great. Annoying voice, body modder, aesthetic. Age 17. They have a health issue, but they're aesthetic, which is really nice. They don't really care about beauty. We don't really have a need for them. If we purchase them, then our wealth of our colony would go up quite a bit too, which would mean bigger raids. So right now we're just going to not take them. But I didn't look to see if there was stuff we could trade away. Got Luciferium, yeah, we don't need any of that. Oh, we can get rid of our drugs a little bit. Or we can hold on to it. But that goes away. We're going to give them another hit. There it goes. Add Bill, Smoke Leaf. That'll help their mood go up. We should get them from 1.2 down to 0. Since we've got it set to recruit, after they get to 0, then they're going to go ahead and recruit them and they'll join our colony. Next turn they're going to become, or next time build is able to go in there and chat with. We got a transportation pod crash. Any good? A tough pawn. So we are in need of a tough pawn. We'll go ahead and grab them. Send a medic. Oh, I should have sent Builder to Jogger. I sent our medic there just in case we need to heal them. So if you look inside of their health, it'll show you if they're bleeding out. So now they're starting to bleed out. Should be able to get them back there. Now they're going to have a chance to auto join us. Here. There you go. And the more impressive you are, the lesser amount of pawns you have, the more likely they're to auto join. We're also going to need to get another bed made. So they just joined us. Go ahead and set them up with their abilities. That's another doctor. Handle 4. You can cook, and we'll have them so that they do butchering for us. And we're going to set them to be a hauling pawn. They're a jogger. We're going to change their assignment so that it matches the rest. And we can give them the mnemonic that they're a healer. Put a doctor in front of them. And what is our other pawn that we set doing? Anything? Not really. We can continue this one being our crafter. We want to get another research bench set up. We can go ahead and increase our food so it's still summer. Since this is a colder tile, we may or may not need food. We may or may not get frozen, especially if we get a cold snap. So we're going to plant some corn. The reason I like rice is because it's quick to plant, it's quick to grow, and that's really good for helping your planter get skilled up. The corn is really good because it takes a lot longer to grow, but it yields the same amount of rice over the same period that you're growing them. You just have to go out and take care of the rice more often. I like the lances. An unknown threat. Not going to go out for it. We need to get some clothing on this pawn though. We're gonna force them to wear poor clothing. I don't think we have enough to make pants, fortunately. Oh, okay. They've got our already pants. So they didn't want to put anything on because it's poor. So we're going to make our policy a little bit less for now. We're going to say you can wear poor clothing just because we've got a terrible pawn for crafting at the moment. You know, it's just an RNG thing, Tumbleweed. Sometimes I'll see them, sometimes I won't for a run. We don't need that anymore. We're going to break that wall down so that we have another pass through out. Need a weapon for... Let's see. Let's put them in 10, 5. They're right there. You can use that 4 pistol for now. Kind of bed. We made an excellent bed for him. And then I also need to change it for melee. So we're going to allow melee to wear poor clothing for the moment. One thing that I did, and I didn't explain there, was I had Amelia here. I forced them to wear clothing. And then when I went into... Oh, let's adjust that real quick too. I went into our assign, and it said forced here. And all I had to do was click it, and then it makes it so they're no longer forced. And they'll just pick up clothing for their own, for themselves, and they'll make the decision. The pawn decided to join us, so now we've got an even bigger colony. This guy is going to be 100% melee. So another place I can change that outfit is right there. We're going to say grab a knife. And then we're going to adjust their schedule. Another doctor. Don't need you wardening. You can handle, not cook. Don't need to grow. Go mine stuff. And we're going to set, yeah, bed rest is 4 already. Perfect. You don't need a bed rest. Could go sleep though. But now we have a tough pawn. But we do want to get him, I mean, getting him marine armor would be perfect. I also prefer blunt weapons. So we'll want to get a mace created for him. And the best thing to get mace created out of is uranium. So we'll see if we have any uranium on the map. We do not. At least not visible. The reason I like the mace is because it stuns pawns. So when you've got them in the shotgun tunnel, they hit a pawn and it stuns them. We can turn off the planting in there. We don't need to plant while we don't have a pawn in there that we're recruiting. We now have 6 pawns, so we're going to need 1 more of these. Getting visited by Goose the cat right now. Yeah, Goose, I just petted him for you. Blow back. Okay, so now we're going gas. After that, we're going to go microelectronics. And we can start getting them helmets now. So we're going to put a machining table in. Oh, he's begging for some treats. I'm going to toss him a piece of salmon. If you want to see Goose the cat, we can do a quick... Change it here. Go to Goose the cat. He just got a bite of salmon. He's a super happy kid, you know. So we have one wooden dresser here. One wooden dresser works to mini beds, and then an end table works to up to 4 beds if you have the head of it touching it. You don't have to do this or design that I've got around it. You could put your beds up like that against it, and that would count the same. But it has to be the pillow of the bed, the head of the bed has to be touching it. What that does, it's going to fill the comfort for your pawn. So if you look in here, they've got a comfort need. And if you look inside of the bed, it tells you the comfort level. So with it touching the dresser and the end table, this is getting a final value of 1.05 comfort. If we were to look at this masterwork, comfort level is up to 1.16. We have an excellent do. The excellent, it's 1.05. And that one, the excellent, is going to be the same as the good, I believe. Nope, nope. Nope, okay. So excellent gets you up to 1.05. Masterwork gets you a little bit more comfort. So we're needing some steel, it looks like. And we have someone that likes to mine. So we're going to go ahead and let them mine. It is not good call, so we can move that down. $1.23. So moving that down will help us when we get more beds this way, and then we can make beds going that way. And we can always just go right around here. All right, they're chipping away at that. We're gonna get that built. Then we're gonna make a new bill for our helmet. Do until just like we did the other one. Put our crafter on it. Jay is our crafter, right? Jay is our crafter. Do it till there's one. And then we're going to have these specifications. We want one made until it's normal. Drop on the floor. And lower that radius again. And we're making them out of steel. So Jay is just going to be cranking away at those. We'll give him a chair for comfort. We're also going to make it so steel is kept right there. We do that by creating a shelf. Going in there, changing it to critical, just set it to steel. You can also kind of do the same thing for this one here. Critical, we can set this for cloth. Both of these are going to be using cloth. Actually, that's not going to really use cloth. But we could put our light leather and stuff in there for now. That would be textiles. Hey, Nightwolf. Morning, how you doing? So Nicholas is not too happy. Heat stroke, intense pain, disturbed sleep, underground or outdoors. So go ahead and come inside. No longer outdoors. Underground or indoors. Now he's smoking, happy. My day was really good. We've got a little bit more of this Rimworld here going, and then we're going to do some Frostpunk. How'd you sleep, man? Like a log. Man, I love the nights that I sleep like a log. This is good experience here for us. Crafting's up to a 4. Oh, right on. Excellent. Help put you to sleep. Did I change their schedule? Yes, we did not. So that would cause them to not be very happy. So part of their mood is connected to their recreation. So we like their recreation to be high. Leg workout today was brutal. This is the workout that we did. All right, so the last one, microelectronics. Then we have to get different kind of workbenches. Then we're going to work for precision rifle. Yeah, my legs are going to be toast tomorrow. I believe tomorrow's upper body and core for the workout. Now that we have a tough pawn here, I'm actually going to make Cook be melee or range. We're going to change the outfit to range. And that means we need another spot here. So we can have 6 people shooting right down this little tunnel and be protected as they're shooting. We'll have our 5, and then we'll have Nicholas right there, and we have our dog too. Should be getting raided pretty soon. So Cassandra's on a set schedule. I don't have the exact date or days right in front of me, but it's been 15 days since the start of that. Pesky, welcome in. Non-traditional offer. So we'd have to have 570 plain leather trade for these. Oh, and we can actually look. Fast walking industrious. Man, what a really good pawn. So we'd have to kill a lot of animals for that to happen. One thing I didn't do in this, though, is we only got 2 options here because they gave us goodwill. One thing you're going to want to do is go in and change your reward preferences into here. Pesky, the walk-on sound that you had is making Diago sing to me right now. So funny. I didn't have my headphones on, but you got to hear it. The German shepherd singing the song of his people. Almost halfway there. So we got to start thinking about, we're going to need, I think it's like 250. So we can actually start having our miners go out there. Yeah, are you putting a caravan spot down? So if you're going to form caravans, you always want to place a caravan spot first nearby you. So if you go into miscellaneous, you can put a caravan hitching spot. If you don't have that set, they're going to pick some random spot on the map. So sometimes they could set it right there. And they're going to all, when you start your caravan, run over there to the caravan hitching spot and then run back. And any supplies you put in, they're going to keep on making trips back and forth until it's ready to go. So it's super important before you start your caravan, you want to put it down a caravan hitching spot nearby. You're welcome. I have made that mistake many times, and often when it happens, I go, whoops, and I'll click the pawn and I'll cancel the caravan, and then I'll put the caravan spot down. But that's a good question, birds. One of the unfortunate things that's going on here is they're running out of their research to go haul. I don't want them to do that right now. So I'm just going to set our 2 pawns that are miners, which are Plant and Nicholas, be able to be out. Everyone else is going to stay in the compound. Or actually, we're going to set Work. I want them to be able to get to the other stuff. Oops. Work. We're going to set Work to be here. And we're going to set everyone except for those. It was Plant and Nicholas be Work. Unrestricted and Plant. So they'll still go mine. Everyone else won't be able to go out there. And that's just going to prevent them again from all that travel. So going from here to there, back and forth over and over and over again. Yeah, and that's a good point, Tumbleweed. So if someone has a mental break, then they're all going to sit there and wait at the exit for them to come. You can always, after you formed a caravan, click on the pawn and say remove from caravan if you want it to go without them. You can also, after you formed a caravan, click on a pawn and tell them to join caravan. And sometimes I do that. So like if I'm going to send a pawn somewhere and I just want 1 pawn, I'll specify just 1 pawn. And then I'll click on a couple other pawns and have them join caravan until everything's loaded, and then I'll remove them from the caravan. Just as kind of like a min-max way. All right, you're going to go ahead and stay inside too. Stay in with Mr. Undergrounder. The one way to combat that, his mood is low, and I can see that just from the background of that. We can put him on what we call a biphasic schedule, and that'll get him so he's doing rec 2 times a day, and it'll help keep him happy. So that's 8 p.m. there. So we're going to do 2 hours there, and then we're going to change his sleep like this. So we'll give him 2 3-hour sleeping periods. So he's going to be a little less productive, but he's going to be happier. We might do the same thing here. Oh, we're low on food. We are low on food. So in that situation, we can either kill our horse or go get some of these muffalo or smaller animals nearby. We're also harvesting this too. We can go ahead and just say harvest it all, so it's less of an emergency. And this is part of when you're doing the min-maxing, where you're trying to keep less food around, that sometimes this happens. But having a lot of food stored causes a great deal of wealth. We're going to say cook, stop that, go ahead and cook. And once we get the situation a little bit more handled, you know, it's pretty good here. And now there's a bulk goods trader, so we can probably even get a little bit less. We're going to cancel. That way we let it grow to full potential, and then we'll be able to harvest. What we're going to do is we're going to trade with them, get some food from them. You can look and see what they're carrying in here. Yorkshire meat, bison meat. So we can just get some of the meat off of them and trade off some of this clothing and poor helmets and awful helmets that our crafters were making. We'll send Build out here to trade. And we're going to get rid of the scraps of leather that we have. And the terrible, awful, poor. Keep the normal. That's 41%, so we're going to get rid of that. 51%, get rid of that. We don't want cloth because it's not very protective, so we want the cloth gone. And this is showing me that we weren't making anything else. Well, we didn't have anything else to make. But we're going to go ahead and get some meat from here. That should be good. And that's going to do it for today's session. We got about an hour in. Let's go ahead and save here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for watching. Please give us a like. Go ahead and do the sub on the YouTube. Appreciate it. And we'll catch you again for the next one.